Very good morning to all of you. What we have done in our previous session, that is all about the byte-oriented stream classes, right? We have seen what is input stream, what is file output stream, file input stream, right? And we have seen few of the methods and with the examples we have started, right? Then we have seen what is file class, right? What are the different methods are there with the file class, and few more classes that we'll see today, which is related to byte stream, as well as we'll start with the character stream classes in today's session. All the content and the programs are taken from Java T Point and Daniel Liang. Fine. So I hope my screen is visible to you guys, right? Yeah. Okay. So here what we have seen is, we have seen first what is input stream, what is output stream, right? They are the abstract classes. For that we cannot create the object, right? But we are having the child classes, that what we are seeing. So first we have seen what is file input stream and file output stream. We have seen these two classes. We have also seen the file class, right, which is the main class for your any of the file or directory. Okay. Then which class we have seen after that? Buffered input stream, right? That we have seen. Buffered input stream, buffered output stream. This is what we have seen. Now we'll see what is byte array input stream and what is data input stream. This class is, when you are using buffered input stream, data input stream, then no need to use this filter input stream class, right? Which is not so useful. Same way the piped input stream and this object input stream, they are not so much useful classes. Seems that you have to see by your own, right? Because all the classes we cannot cover, right? So we'll see this file input stream. We have already seen this. We have seen what is buffered input stream. Now what we are going to see is byte input stream, byte array output stream, as well as data input stream and data output stream. This is what we will see, right? This is for the output, right? And after that, we will see what is reader writer class. What are the methods which is already there in reader and writer? These two classes are for character stream, right? These two classes are for character stream. And then we'll see what is file reader and file writer class. File reader and file writer class, right? This is what we are going to see. Okay. I was just showing you the hierarchies, right? This is what we have already seen, right? The different methods related to file. Then we have seen this example, right? Then we have seen what is output stream, what is input stream. They are the main two classes, right? And some of the methods which is given into that. Then file output stream class, that we have seen. What are the different methods? You can write even a single thing. You can write a single integer data. You can write even a whole byte array. You can write even a whole byte array from a particular offset, from the particular index and for particular bytes only. So that is here the length, right? That what we have seen. Same way file input stream we have seen. This is just the revision, that what I'm saying, right? Okay. So now we have started with the other input stream classes, and in that we have seen what is buffered input stream and what is buffered output stream, right? This two we have seen. That Java buffered input stream class is used to read information from the stream, but it internally used here the buffer mechanism to make the performance faster. All right. So this is what we are doing, and we have seen the example for this buffer, right? we are not directly writing into the string. Instead of that, we are writing through the buffer. So it internally uses the buffer to store the data. It adds more efficiently than to write the data directly into string, because each and every time for a single character you are going to write that data right directly to the string. Here the better option, you can use the buffer, you can write into the buffer, and at the same time you can flush your buffer into the string, so you can write the data whole data at the same time, right? So it makes here the performance faster. Second is byte array input stream. Byte array input stream is composed of two words, byte array and input stream. So as the name suggests, it can be used to read the byte array as input stream. You are reading a whole byte array at a time, right? Same way for the output stream, byte array output stream class is used to write common data into multiple files, because you wish to write only a single data to multiple files. Say suppose it is the abc.txt or it is a pqr.txt. So in all the files you wish to write the same data. So at that time you can use this byte array output stream. In this stream, the data is written into the byte array, which can be returned to multiple streams later. Okay. So I hope you are getting what we are doing. We will see the examples and it will be more clear, right? Okay. So here is the byte array example. What we are doing is, here say suppose I'm having one of the class, right? Inside this public static void main, I'm creating the object of file output stream. File output stream, and I'm creating the file, which is the f1.txt and the f2.txt. I have given two different files. I'm creating two different objects, so it will create two different streams. Do you understand? This fout1, this is related to one string. This fout2, that is related to another string, right? And now what I'm doing is, now I'm creating the object of byte array output stream equals to new byte array output stream. So simply I have created one byte array output stream. And now I'm writing this data to this stream, which is byte array output stream, right? So I'll write simply bout.write 65. Now the 65 I have written into my byte array output stream. And from that stream, actually I wish to write the common data to my both the files at a time, F1 and the F2. I wish to write common data to multiple files. So for that there is one method supported in this class byte array output stream, which is the most important, which is write to method. So whatever is there inside this bout, whatever is there on this stream bout, which is byte array output stream, that data means the 65, that will be written to, write to this file, which is the fout1 object. So it will be written into the f1.txt. Same data I am writing to f2.txt, and then I'm flushing this byte array output stream, and I'll close that. Though it is not having any kind of effect, right? But still, you can write this. You are closing this string, and finally you are writing success. So we will get to know that, okay, fine, my file has been written successfully. Okay. Are you getting what we are doing is, yes or no? You are not saying anything, means what? Only 8 students are here. Yes, okay. Then also I'm showing you what I mean to say is, see here I'll be having one of the string, right? That this byte array string. Okay. So this is what a pipeline kind of thing. Okay. So this is what the pipeline. here I am writing 65. Okay, this is what my byte array output string. Here I am writing 65, and from here I am writing this data to the two different files. So it is commonly written to here, as well as I'm same thing I am writing to here to another file. So 65 data, it is here only, okay, right now. And that 65 I am writing with the use of write to method, which is commonly sent to this file as well as this file from this string. I hope now it is clear, right? So whatever you are writing at the first, that is you are writing here, whatever. And then by creating file output stream, that is another file output stream, another file output stream, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as number of files, but you want to write the same data into this file. So you can use this right here. Clear? I hope it is clear. Okay, fine. So we'll run this. So here it is written success, means it has created two different files, F1 and F2. So in F1 it will write A, in F2 it will write A, right? Because we have written 65, that is why. So in both the files you will be having same data, right? Because of which method? Because of write to method, which is the most important. That is why it is written that Java byte array output stream class is used to write common data into multiple files. In this stream, the data is written into byte array, which can be written to multiple streams later. Fine. Okay. So we will see how to read that data. So for that, we'll have another example. Read example, right? So here you can see I have taken the example of whole byte, right? Because it is not like that you can only read or write a single data. But instead of that, the name itself says it is byte array. Byte array means it can have byte array and it can read and write. Okay. So I have taken here the byte array named as buff, and equals to, I have given some of the ASCII values, right? That is 35, 36, 37, 38. And now what we are doing is we are creating a new byte stream array, that is input stream. So byte array input stream byt equals to new byte array stream, and I am passing this buff, means this one. Okay. So whole byte array I am passing over here, and now I am reading it. Now I am reading it because on my stream, you can see over here, on my stream, this input stream, I have plotted this 4 values. I have plotted this 4 values, that it is 35, 36, 37 and 38. So it is on my pipeline. It is on my stream right now. And now I am reading that data and I am simply printing those data onto the monitor. So this is what my task. So I have taken one index variable integer k equals to 0. Now while k equals to byte dot read, means some data is there and it is not -1. If it is not -1, it means what? If it is not -1, it means what? It is not your EOF. It is not your end of the file. There is still some data which you need to read. Okay, so first time it will get, that is here, this 35, which is not is equals to -1, then 36, which is not equals to -1, and after 38 no data is there to read, then it will return you -1. So whenever it is -1, it will directly come outside of this loop, right? But if there is some data to read, at that time what you need to do, I need to convert whatever the data is there into integer, that I'll convert into character. So I can get to know, okay, with this 35 ASCII value, which character is this? They would be the special characters, right? So I'll store into one of the character variable and I'll simply print it, that ASCII value of the character where k is your integer value. So ASCII value of this, the special character is this. So you are printing just integer and character for this single data because we are reading single character. So I don't need to take here character array, right? I'll just take one character variable because in this while loop I'll take the data one by one. Okay, fine. So we'll run this Java C read example. When I'll read this, it will be shown onto my screen that okay, ASCII value of character 35, that is a special character hashtag, then dollar, then percentage sign, and this ampersand sign, and so on. So is it clear what we have done with this byte array output stream? Ultimately what we are doing, we are reading and writing, that's it. But each and every class is having one special method, right? So it is different than the others, right? Okay. Next is data output stream and data input stream. Data input stream, here Java input stream class allows an application to read primitive data from the input stream in machine independent way. And output stream, here the data output stream class allows an application to write primitive Java data types to the output stream in a machine independent way. So what we are doing here ultimately, we are reading and writing our data, our primitive data types. So you already know that Java primitive data types, if it is an integer in Java, it will take 4 bytes. If it is character, it will take 2 bytes. If it is a float, it will take 4 bytes. If it is double, 8 bytes, long, again the 8 bytes. So in that way, in those bytes, you are actually writing the data. So I'll show you the example and it will be more clear to you. Buffered we have seen, file input output we have seen, yes, data output stream. Okay. So here I'm having one of the example for this output, data output stream. Here I have created one stream of file output stream. One of the object I have created, one stream I have created, one of the pipeline I have created for G drive abc.txt. So it will open this file, right? And we need to write something inside it. And now I'm creating data output stream. Data output stream object data equals to new data output stream, and I am passing this file. So I can directly write into this abc.txt via this data output stream. I hope you are getting, because here we ultimately we need to pass one of the stream. It is very similar to your buffered output stream. Do you remember that? In buffer, you cannot directly write this G drive abc.txt here directly. Instead of that, you can write here new file output stream, and you can write then this path. That's what we have seen already, right? So this is how you can create your buffered output stream also in the same way. Or what you are doing is right now you are passing this object directly, right, over here. Is it clear? Yes or no? How we can create this, because you already know the hierarchy. It is under your that filtered output data stream, right? So it is not like that. Okay, you can directly create this data output stream and you can pass directly this file. Just like your buffer, you cannot directly pass the file name here, file path here. Okay, fine. Now you are writing this data to this data output stream, like data dot write, and you will be having the methods: write integer, write long, write float, write double, in that way. Okay. So I am writing right now long, write long, and I'm writing 65. Now I'll do this data dot flush and I'll close, and successfully it will be saved, and we'll see how they are storing this output, how they are storing it. So it would be easy to read any time. We are not dependent on any of the system, because whatsoever the system is writing, whatever the compiler, because you even know that in C and C++ also, according to the book, integer is taking 2 bytes. But if you are using a chord blocks or anything else, then they are taking 4 bytes. So we are dependent on the compiler, that what compiler we are using. Okay. So same way here we are writing the data, whatever the compiler they are using, whatever the number of bytes they are having, we are writing the data as according to the law. Now in my system, my compiler is taking the 8 bytes, then it's fine. It will take the 8 bytes. I'll read the data in sync. Fine. Okay. So example name output. So when we are running this program, it's saying success. Okay. So now we'll go to that file. I have given the abc.txt, I think. Right. So have you seen this? How it is? They are storing the data. See, this is 1 byte, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on 8th there is a data 8. Have you observed this? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So same way, if I'll write, I'm just closing this file, right? And again, we are just changing over here. Yeah. And here I'll write integer. Okay, write int. Fine. I'm saving this. Again, I'll compile this. And I'll run this. It is successful. Again, I'll go to that folder abc.txt. Have you seen this now? It's 1, 2, 3, and on 4th it is written, because integer will take 4 bytes, right? So according to that, it will store your data. Fine. It is not writing actually float and double, right? It is only writing either in byte, either in integer, or it will be into long, because here we are not writing anything into float, right? Because how I can give 65.3? But 65.3 is what actually? If only 65, then we can understand, okay, that is the ASCII value of the capital A. So that is why here we are not providing any functions or any kind of methods to write floating point data. Okay. So I hope it is clear, right? Now we'll see another example to read the data. Yes. Okay. So this is for data input stream, right? So first I'll create one input stream. Input is equals to new file input stream, and I'm giving here this abc.txt, right? Whatever is there written, that I'm just fetching. Okay. Then data input stream, sum of the object equals to new data input stream, and I'm passing this input. Okay. Then integer count is equals to input dot available. So how many bytes I need to read, that I'll count inside this integer. Okay. And what I have done is I have taken one byte array. I have taken one byte array equals to new byte with this count. So if here I am writing integer data, it will return 4. If I am writing long data, here it is 8. So of this size, I am creating byte array. Whatever the data I am already having inside the file. Okay. Then and only then I can store this. I'll fetch that data one by one, and I'll store into this array. Right. Now I'm reading this via this object inst, which is the object of data input stream. Inst dot read. Dot read what? This array. Okay, because I'm reading into this array. So one by one, everything will be stored into my byte array. And now for here the printing purpose, I have used for each loop. Do you remember that for each loop? Here my all the data is in byte. So I'll write here byte any of the object BT, A, B, C, D that you can choose. Then colon, and here you will write the array variable name from where you are actually reading, right? So now you are finally converting, because your data is in byte, and that byte data you are converting into character, and you are storing into character, and at the same time you are printing. But here I have used this dash dash dash, so you can see that how many space I'm having. Okay, one more space will be there. I mean, one more time it will do that dash. I cannot skip it, but you can understand. So we'll run this program. So have you seen this? 1, 2, 3, one more is there. So that what I said, right? And on the fourth place, you are having this A. Now you are getting how they are getting the bytes. If nothing is there, it will show you that dash first, right? It is dash and nothing. Dash and nothing means white space. Dash and nothing. And finally dash, and after that you are having some data, which is your actual data. So you can imagine this is your 4 byte data, right? So same way, if I'll simply change into my abc.txt, and for that I'll have this, and I'll write here, write long. Okay, I have written that data in long. So I'll first compile and run my output example, right? So again, it will write the data into long, and then we will read that data. Okay, now we'll read that data. So you can see this, it is of the 8 bytes. 1, nothing, 2, nothing, 3, white space, 4, white space, 5 space, 6 space, 7 space, and at the last I'm having this 8. So is it clear? Any doubt in this? Data output stream and data input stream, and what it is doing? It is clear, right? Okay, good. What about the others? So this was the last example, that is for byte oriented string, right? And now we will move on to the character oriented string. Okay. So who's this? Back to the slide. Now there is one class which is writer class. I have already shown you the hierarchy, right? Here the writer class is an abstract class, which is a main parent class, and from that only we are having the different classes. Again, I'm showing you. Okay, this is reader and this is writer class. Here, this is the abstract class, and all these classes are these child classes, or you can say subclasses of this writer class. Same way, reader class again, this all the classes are the child of this reader class. Okay, so we are seeing first what is this reader, what is this writer, and then we'll see what is file writer and what is file reader. So this is what we are going to do today. Okay, because we are having number of classes. Okay. It is an abstract class for writing to character strings. This is the most important, and this is for the character strings. And the methods that a subclass must implement are write in that way character array, integer, You can say the offset and integer length, then flush, then close, such kind of methods. These are the abstract methods. So you can see here, this is what abstract void, this is abstract void close, this is abstract void flush. So these three are the abstract method of the writer class. And so all the, again the child classes, they compulsory need to implement this method's definition. All right. Okay. Another methods, this is the append method. It will always give you the return type as writer. So that is the append method, where you are writing a single character. So it appends a specified character to this writer. So whatever the file you are writing, inside that you are appending the different characters. Then write and character array. You are writing a set of characters, bunch of characters at a time. So it writes an array of characters. Again, write character array, integer offset, integer length. So it writes a portion of an array of the characters. It writes the portion of the array of the characters, but here I have just shown you that this is the abstract method. They both are the same, right? So here I'm having this, it will write a portion of the array of the characters, then I'm having a single character to write, okay? This is append, and this is write. So it writes a single character into a file. It will write a character array into your any of the existing file or whatever you are creating, right? Then some of the methods may be repeated one, especially this one, right? Okay. Then these are for the append. I'll just change it. My bad. This is for the write. Taking much time. Okay. This is for the append. Append means it will give you the return type this. Okay. It will return a whole string, that whatever you have written. And this is only you are writing. You are not appending. The very first time you are writing something into the file. Just a sec. Then you are having this void close, void flush, what it is that you already know. You can even write a whole string here. It will write a string. You can even write a string with integer offset, with integer length. That also you can write. Okay. So this is what all the methods related to writer class. Fine. Three abstract methods: write, close, flush. Same way you are having reader class. Reader class is doing what? Java reader is an abstract class for reading the character strings. The only method that a subclass must implement are this read and close. Okay, just read this character array and this close method. So you are only having two abstract methods: abstract integer read, abstract void close. These two are the abstract methods. Okay. Then the other methods, which are the common, right? They are the concrete methods like integer read, which will read a single character, which will always return the data in integer, because they are reading only the ASCII value of it. So that is for sure. Whatever you are reading, that is an integer. So there is no mistake here. Their return type is integer only. Right? Then here we are giving this character buffer, I mean the character array. It reads the characters into an array. Then abstract integer read, where we are having this integer offset and the length. So it reads the character into a portion of an array. Here we are giving a particular character buffer, and the target. So means you can say here you are passing buffer object, right? So it attempts to read the characters into a specified character buffer. Then mark will just give you the present position into a string. It will simply mark that present position. And if mark supported is there into your stream or not, which will return you either true or false. So it will tell whether the stream supports the mark operation or not. Some of the streams are not supported, some of the streams are supported, which will mark your current position, right? Then close, you already know. Ready means it will tell whether the stream is ready to be read or not. It is ready for reading or not. Reset means it will reset your stream, and skip means it will skip a particular characters for reading. All right. Any doubt into these methods and all, right? Some of the methods are the common one which you need to remember. Okay. These are the common methods. Fine. Now we'll see the example of this reader and writer. Reader, writer. First we will do write, okay, and then we will read. So here I'm having one of the class, right? Inside this public static void main, inside this try. What I'm doing is I'm not creating object of writer, because writer is the abstract one, and you cannot create the object, but it can refer to their child object. So I'm doing what? Writer w is equals to new file writer, and I'm giving one file name which is output.txt. Fine. So I'm creating here file writer, which we will see later on, right? Which is a very next file reader and file writer. Okay, which is a very next class what we will understand. So writer w is equals to new file writer, and I am giving output.txt. Now in string, here I have taken one of the variable which is content, and I have written I love my country. Now I am writing that w dot write, and I'm writing this content because I can pass over here string also, right? You just have seen this. In this writer class, you can write even a string. Right? So you are writing the string, that w dot write and content. I'm closing this and I'm saying it is done. Okay. So we compile this. Right, it is done. So we'll go and check in G drive output.txt is there or not. Okay, just a minute. I have given what is the path. Otherwise, it will go to my another folder. Yes, so here it is created, right? Here it is output.txt, and it is written that I love my country. Fine. Now, we'll see this. Okay, this output was generated here into my current folder. If I'm not giving anything, then wherever will be my source file, over there only it will generate the file. Okay. If I'll specify I want that in G drive, then it will be there in G drive, right? Now the reader example. Reader will do what? Inside this try, I'm creating this reader, but here again I'm not creating object of reader. Why? Because reader is the abstract class and you cannot create object of reader class. But here I'm creating, it is just referring. This is just what I've created reference variable, which is referring right now to new file reader. File reader class, which we will see very next, and I'll read this file.txt, or here I have given output.txt, right? Or I'll specify it will read from G drive output.txt, okay? And it will give the data in integer, that what I said, right? It will always return the data in integer. So integer data is equals to reader dot read. So I'll read the data, it will be there into inside this, and I'll check. While data is not as equals to -1, what I'm doing is I'll convert that data into the character. Okay, this data I'll convert into the character, and then data is equals to reader dot read. Again inside the data I am reading next character. Again it will check whether this data is not equals to -1. Again it will print into the character. Again we will read. So it will read one by one character. Okay. First time I am reading here I. Second time here L. Then again it will come here. Then O. Then V. Then E. So it will read a whole string. I love my country. Fine. In that way. So whenever my string is over, whenever there is no data to be read, at that time it will return what? -1. Okay, it will return here the -1. And it will be outside of this loop and it will simply close this string, right? So we'll check this. Is the class name reader. Right? So it is written, I love my country. So is it clear? Yes or no? Yes, everyone. It is clear, right? Okay. Good. Right. So the next is this is what we have seen, right? The reader class. Now the next is file writer class and file reader class. Okay. So in file writer class, this Java file writer class is used to write the character oriented data to a file. It is a character oriented class which is used for file handling in Java. Unlike the file output stream class, you don't need to convert your string into a byte array and then you are passing. Instead of that, directly you can pass the character, directly you can pass the string, right? So that is only the difference. File output stream, we are always writing our data into byte. So whatsoever the string we are having or whatsoever the character we are having, that we are converting into byte array and we are writing byte. So you can imagine byte is a kind of integer only, means you are writing your data in integer form, okay, in number form. But here you are writing everything into a character form, or you can directly pass the character array, or you can even pass directly a whole string. So this is what the character oriented class. Fine. So unlike this file output stream class, you don't need to convert first your string into the byte array because it provides the method to write string directly. So you can write your string text here. It is the best. If you wish to write a single character, you have the single character. If you write a character array, then also you are having a method and then flush and close. All the other methods are the common, which is there from your parent class, which is this, right? All these methods are there already, right? But they are just specifying that you can write via directly a string, character or character array. So I hope it is clear. And for the file reader class, the Java file reader class is used to read the data from the file. It returns the data in byte format, just like your file input stream class. Huh? So this is what I'm saying. Your data will be in integer form, means in a byte, means in integer. So it is a character oriented class which is used for file handling in Java. But your character is actually converted into integer, or you can say it will directly give you the byte. Yeah. And here you are having only two methods in file reader class. One is integer read and close. Right. It is used to return a character in ASCII form only. Right. So it is integer as a return type, because it will return in ASCII form and it will return -1 at the end of the form. close, it will simply close this class string, right? We'll see the example for this. Yes, file writer, file reader. So first we'll see file writer example. Here in file writer, inside this try block, what we have done is file writer fw is equals to new file writer. So you can directly create the object because file writer is not abstract class. You can create the object for it. So I've directly created object of this file writer and I want the data in pqr.txt, okay, in this G12. And I'm writing inside this with the use of this object that fw.write and I'm writing welcome to Java. I'll simply close it. So that's it. Here in Java, file handling is very easy due to the different classes. Okay. Fine. So again, it is written successful. We'll go to this G drive and I'll find PQR. Yes, this is my PQR file where it is written welcome to Java. Okay. Fine. I'll again go to my reader class where I'm reading it. So this is my file reader example. File reader, and I'm creating one object equals to new file reader and I wish to read a file which is PQR. It will be in integer form because it's written in ASCII form only. So whatever I have written welcome to Java. So it will written ASCII value of W, ASCII value of E, ASCII value of L and so on. So I hope you are getting, right? So while I equals to fr dot read. Generally, I am reading just with the method read, okay, with the object of that class, and it will be in the I. And now I'll check the value of I is not equals to -1. Means if I am having some of the ASCII form, till that it will not return -1, right? But at the last here, it will return -1, right? So till that, this while loop will be executed and it will print the characters onto the screen. So I'll convert this ASCII form into again character and it will be shown on my screen. I'll close it. So that's it. Fine. Here also you can put that try and catch that I have just missed. Because if there is no file such as PQR, then it will raise an exception. So for that, you have to write always this code into try and catch. Fine. So they are showing us this welcome to Java, which is written into your file PQR. So is it clear, everyone? Any doubt? Then you can ask. Else, we will see more classes into our next session. Okay, we'll see more classes. Fine. So that's all for today's lecture. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Else, you can write your enrollment numbers and you will leave.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Yes, dear. Yeah. Muhammad Hamad, May Segni, you can write your numbers and you may leave if you have not yet written.